Hey guys, and welcome back to another Emergent 4 tutorial. In today's video I'm going to be going over integrating and merging two different videos which I have done. So I've got a series on a day-night system, which you can just do in one video, and I've also got a video on creating an analog clock. Now some people are asking for specific ways of merging the two, so you've got the analog clock displaying the time in-game, and I'm going to be going over doing that today. So I'm not going to be creating the clock, and I'm not going to be creating the day-night system. I have separate videos doing that. Today it's just merging the two. So I'll hit play and show you what I'm going to make today. So you see on the wall here I've just got two clocks to show you that it works for multiple instances in the level, and in the top left we've got our time which we set up in previous videos for the day-night system, and it is working the same. So it's just gone 4 o'clock on the analog clock as well, and you can see the actual day-night is changing as well, and the time is representative, working perfectly too. So we'll see as it gets into night it's going to continue getting darker, and the time is going to be updating and changing perfectly as it should as well. So again, this is what we're going to make today. So without further ado, let me delete this code and I'll show you how I've done it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to open up our character blueprint. And so for me that's going to be content, third person BP, blueprints, third person character. And the reason we're doing this is just so we have a blueprint in which we can easily access. So at the moment our time variable is stored in the level blueprint, but as you know we can't cast a level blueprint. So the most efficient way I found is to just store this then in the character blueprint as well to then access like so. So we don't have to use for loops, we don't have to use event dispatches, because this is going to be updating very quickly. We want to make it as efficient as possible. So in our character blueprint all we need to do is create a new variable, naming this time and setting the variable type to be a time span. Compile and save, and that is all we need to do in here. We can now close this and open up our level blueprint to find the code we have for our day-night cycle, which again we've set up in previous videos. In here we're going to go off of event begin play, and you probably will already have a casted third person character here if you followed my video for saving the time as well. But if you don't, then make sure you do cast to your character off of event begin play, make sure it's the character we just created the time span in, then right click as third person character, promote it to a variable, doing this character reference, again just connecting this onto event begin play. So this is now, so we have a nice reference to our character which we can easily access to get and set that time span variable we just created. Now we're going to open up our function of track time, which is where we are actually tracking the time, which again we've already set up. So this is what you should have at the moment. This here for the time widget is just to display the time onto the widget. So at the end of all your code we're going to get our character reference, then get an isValid node, the one with the question mark like so, just to avoid any errors which we might have of this firing off before setting the reference. Then drag out of the reference and we're going to set time with just the time span variable we created, connecting that into isValid, and the input time is going to be the same as the set time which we have previously used like so. So we can even just come out that one going into there, because again we're just setting it to the current time in our game. So we can compile, save, and that is also all we need to do in here. This is a very simple system setting up of just linking the two videos. So what we're doing is we're getting the current time, then setting that in the character blueprint so we can then access that time in our clock blueprint. So talking of which, let's now open up our clock blueprint, which for me is just called clock BP. Now this is what I set up in the actual video of creating the clock. We're doing it for the actual time in real life. So what's going to happen at the moment is this is going to display the time for me in real life, which obviously I don't want. I want it to be the time in game. So very simply what we can do is we need to create a reference to our character blueprint again. So we're just going to drag out event begin play, come out of this and cast to our character, which for me is the third person character. Again, making sure this is the one which you created the time span variable in. Object is going to be get player character, and we're going to again right click as third person character, promoting to a variable, naming it character reference like so, and then just connect that back into the set relative rotation there, making sure this is before the loop, so we're not going to be constantly setting this. We only need to set it once at the beginning of the game. Now let's go back over to our break date time here. We're going to get the character reference, drag out of this, and get time. Because again, what we've done is we've got the current game time, set that in the character blueprint, and now we're accessing the character blueprint to get that time. So I hope that all makes sense as to why we've done that, to make sure we can link these together working nicely and efficiently. Now we're going to drag out of time and break time span. Now we just need to connect everything in as we did before. So we can move this down and delete current now and break date time, moving this back down to where it was, and then just connect everything in how it was again. So hours goes into the multiply by 30, Minutes goes into that integer to float divided by 2, and also into the multiply by -6, the first one, and seconds goes into the bottom multiplied by -6, like so. So again, make sure everything is now connected up again as it should be, to make sure that this time does also work the same way it did for our actual time. So if it's easy for you, you can keep the other one in as a reference before you finish setting this up. What I also want to do is go to the delay at the end of my loop and lower this, because now this time it's obviously going to be moving a lot quicker than real life, so I don't want it to update every second, I want it to update every 0.01 of a second. So I'm going to change the delay to 0.01 just to make it update nice and quickly so it looks nice and smooth. So if we compile and save, that should be everything done. What I've also done is I've just selected the seconds hand and set it to be not visible, because I don't want to see it, because when I did see it, it was going around very quickly and didn't look good at all, so I've just removed it. Again, if we were to hit play now, we can see that this is now working perfectly. The clock is displaying the actual time in-game for our day-night cycle, working perfectly how we wanted it to. So I think that'll be it for this video, as we've done everything we want to do. Again, we've set it up so now our analog clock is going to be showing the exact time in our game during our day-night cycle. As you can see here, again, it's perfectly showing and representing what it should be. In the top left, we have it put on a widget, which we did in a previous video, but today we've just integrated our clock video and our day-night cycle video to make them work together so we can display the time in our game on a clock like so. So thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed and hope you found it helpful, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe down below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.